to be a founder member of the LET, that's very special. And I'm very pleased to have been one. When I was a junior, mostly it was boys. Met my husband at the golf club when we were both 17. But, it was just a few girls in each club. So we played a lot of golf when we were juniors with boys. I suppose that helped to, make you a better player in a way. It wasn't a huge big thing for girls at all, really. I used to live right on the edge of the golf course on Whitchurch near Cardiff. And it was just there at the bottom of the garden, which is really how I got into it. I had sisters and they were all into riding and horses and stuff, but I started playing golf and that was it, Once you start playing golf, really, you don't stop, I don't think. There was this sort of movement to start a professional tour and, a whole crowd of us started talking about it. Barry Edwards, I seem to remember, was the driving force, him and his wife Carol. There was one fellow who almost got it going the previous year, and there was talk that we were going to all, this wouldn't have been very popular, but we were all going to turn pro at the home internationals, which would have disrupted the home internationals. So I think we all decided that wasn't a great idea. Quite soon, Barry and Carol came along and they had a decent plan, so we all sort of jumped ship at the same time. It was a bit groundbreaking, obviously, and I was the only player from Wales that was doing it. I wasn't very popular in Wales, because I was playing for Wales, and of course, you're sort of leaving it all behind. But it was just, I thought, too good an opportunity to miss. I was pretty friendly with Catherine Panton. I remember saying to her, "Do you think we should do this, Catherine? It looks as if it could be quite fun." And so we just sort of decided to go with it, and there's a whole crowd that were going for it at the same time, and it was just into the unknown, really. People were just, that's interesting. It was just so new, so they wanted to know all about it. I think our first event was Tyrrell's Wood, and God, it was exciting, just to be there and playing professionally. I was lucky enough to get a sponsor with Hunt's. They were the drinks people, Hunt's tonic and stuff. And they sponsored me, and I also got a sponsorship from St Pierre Golf Club, although I wasn't a member there, So I was quite lucky in that respect, because that I had some help financially, because there wasn't a lot of money on the tour. We were doing it for the sort of, let's try and get it going type of thing, really. We didn't have perhaps enough events. Carlsberg were a fantastic supporter, and of course they had a number of events. So we did get quite a few out of them, but we could have done with more events. That would have been what I would say was the drawback. It was all exciting stuff. I remember when we went to play in Sweden, and we went over on the boat from Felixstowe to Gothenburg, and that was exciting in itself. Do you know what I mean? It was just all so new, and we played in France, and it was, of course, it was all the same crowd. We all went round here and there. Unfortunately, the timing wasn't very good for me because we started in 1979. I got married in 1980, and so whereas most of them are just going from one event to the next, practicing, I'm dashing home just to sort of keep in touch with the husband. But in fact, he used to come and caddy for me now and again. I did 5 years on the tour and then came out of that really to carry on the business with Mike, and we built it up to 10 shops. Fruit, vegetables, flowers and stuff for 28 years, which we'd only started really just when I started playing professional golf. I did keep the golf going, and then I got back into playing amateur golf for Wales again. And then of course I got involved in administration. I captained Wales. I was chairman of the training committee for Wales, and we had people like Lydia Hall and Jackie Brewerton and Amy Bolden. All those girls were in the training squads that I was involved with. So it was kind of, I was seeing it coming forward, really. It's fantastic, to see how far it's come from that small beginning. It's great to feel that we were part of that, and, it needed somebody to start that, to have it where it is now. I actually see some of the players nowadays because I'm a referee these days. The biggest change, it becomes more professional. It just gets better, doesn't it? And obviously the money, there's more events, greater reward. All the sort of amateurs these days know that there's a tour there. So it sort of spurs them on. So I think That's the change. You know, we didn't have that to aspire to. We had to start it ourselves. I don't think I would have been a big traveller if I'd carried on. I don't think would have gone beyond Europe. I think I would have enjoyed continuing a bit longer, and I think I was a better player when I finished as well. Funnily enough, I got a better coach when I finished, and I think I could have done a bit better had I continued and put a bit more focus into that rather than trying to do a bit of everything. But I've had a sort of an interesting follow on. I think that's been great for me in that respect, whereas I didn't keep playing so long on the tour. I've still been involved a lot in the game. Even before I turned pro, I got so much out of golf, you know, through all my junior golf and then international golf. And so I'm giving back to it, you know, where I can. I do a bit of charity stuff. I organise a charity golf event these days and things like that. And of course I got the MBE as well. That was really exciting, which was for my sort of involvement with golf. So I've had a great deal out of golf, I think. When people ask you for a CV or something like that, you know, to be a founder member of the LET, well, that's very special. And I'm very pleased to have been one. You know, looking back, it was sort of a bit rocky. I'm glad we did it, you know, I'm glad we took the plunge and it's become so successful. I'm glad to have been a part of that.